that might want to participate, contact my office. We'll try and find a way. The public engagement meetings work because the public engaged, so we need that going forward. As for the prioritization of projects, we're going to do them in the fastest order possible. I mean, obviously Braze is ready to go. The problem with Braze is it's not just the widening, deepening of a channel and improving the channel. You got 32 bridges over Braze Bayou, and a whole lot of those need to be replaced because they weren't designed for the new channel. So we're not going to pay any attention to this area versus that area. It's whichever projects are ready to go that get the most people out of harm's way. And we're doing that with buyouts.
Okay, so kind of going to the design aspect. So we know that there is this connection between disasters and climate change. And some experts are advocating for something called adaptive risk management. So with floodplain management, it's no longer relying on modeling that assumes past rainfall predictions, but incorporates not just Harvey, but some of the expectations for the future. So how do we accommodate the new normal? How does the county, or is the county planning to accommodate precipitation from Harvey into its modeling? And how will the proposed projects be designed for climate resilience?
Isn't this a question for Hark? No, in all seriousness. Everybody knows who Jeff Lindner is?
Yes.
The meteorologist. I mean, flood control deals with that question all the time in their designs. But you run into a problem in the county. I'm going to try and give a short answer. If you go back over 30 years, there were no detention requirements for developers at all. 30 years ago, that came into place. And the projects built in the last 30 years were better than the legacy projects before that. But it wasn't adequate. It wasn't adequate because the county would tell a developer, you have to provide this much capacity to offset your downstream flooding. And then they'd go out and hire their own engineers and scientists, and they'd sue the county, and the courts would say, no, the county can't require that. If you do, then that's a taking and you have to pay. So it's not just the county that has to work into that. It has to go into the whole judicial system somehow in order to make that work. I mean, on our side, the flood control district is going to be very aggressive, but we do have to face that reality of the limits we have.
Okay. So another question that we have is kind of transitioning into that first thread that we were talking about, emissions reductions. And as we heard from Gavin, that City of Houston is working toward a climate action plan, and really cities and counties across the entire country have been moving toward mitigation to reduce their emissions. And certainly people think about California as kind of one of the pinnacle areas where this kind of work is happening, but it's not just limited to blue areas. There are other areas in the country that are really concerned about climate. And so we're wondering, is Harris County looking at working on a plan to reduce emissions, which of course we're reducing our greenhouse gas emissions, but we're also reducing other what are called co-pollutants like NOx, which contributes to ozone. So it's one of those things that could be very beneficial to health. So what do you think, Judge?
Well, remember where I started. The county is an arm of the state. We can only do what the state of Texas allows us to do. And do I need to talk to you about the legislature? And that's not a dodge. I mean, I wish we could do more. I wish the county had some broader ordinance making power, but we don't. And that's one of the issues that we're going to constantly confront. And that's why this whole question of urban governance has got to come up. When the city goes on trade missions, and again, this is not at all critical of the city, when they go on trade missions and entice somebody to come locate in Houston, guess what? For the most part, they don't locate in Houston, they locate in unincorporated Harris County, where we don't have ordinance making power. That's got to change. I can't say it often enough. That's the fundamental change. And on the city level, as we've seen, cities try something as simple as banning plastic bags, and the legislature tells them they can't do that. So I don't know what they're going to do. You know, and in this, I will tell you that the urban cities and the urban counties are all in lockstep. We all agree. But I can't get beyond the fact that county government is an arm of the state. We actually implement the state law. And Vince Ryan, I'll give a plug to his office. They push it to the max on environmental issues as much as they can. And Commissioner's Court supports him in that effort. But he can only go as far as the state allows him.
Okay, thank you. So we'll move on to